Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Action Jackson. And in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my draft grades of the 2022 NFL draft that Dallas Cowboys had last April. So before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, comment if your thoughts on the video about what grades you guys would have given for certain players. Subscribe if you're new, and share my video with anyone who you think might enjoy my content, man. So hopping straight into it. Going with the first pick that we selected, with the 24th pick in the first round, Tyler Smith. I'm going to give that an A+ grade. At first, I wasn't that high on the pick originally on the night of the draft. There were some guys I wanted instead of Tyler Smith. I was in the same realm of getting offensive linemen because that offensive line got tore up against the Niners in that playoff game. I was in the same realm. I wanted a Tyler Linderbaum out of Iowa, the center that's right now currently doing really well with the Baltimore Ravens, but picked by the Dallas Cowboys. We drafted him in here. We drafted him at left tackle coming out of Tulsa. Drafted him to be our guard. That will eventually be our left tackle when Tyron Smith decides to retire or get injured. And he did get injured in the offseason, which made Tyler Smith go out back to left tackle, his original position coming out of the college. And that turned out to be a really great pick for us. He stepped in really, really well. In the first 3 weeks, he proved that he was a Dallas Cowboy and that he was going to be on this team for a very long time as long as he can stay healthy and he just continues to improve off of what he did his rookie year. This is definitely somebody that I believe will be your tackle for the next 10+ years. And again, like the grade, I will give him as A+. This was an outstanding pick. Dallas Cowboys hit this pick out the park. That's one thing I can say legitimately that when April comes and it's time for them to draft, I can never worry about the Dallas Cowboys and who they select. They always have people that can contribute to the roster day one. Or if they don't contribute day one, they always will be rotational pieces come down the line for the Dallas Cowboys. So for the second round pick, with the 56th pick in the second round, we selected Sam Williams. I'll give that pick a B-. I was originally okay with the pick. I wasn't too happy. I wasn't too upset. I was right in the middle. I was fine with this pick. This was a nice rotational guy that you added to your D-line room that was already deep. He did have an outstanding game against the Detroit Lions where he hip-tossed the dude. He caused a fumble. He got a sack. So there was some games where he did ball out this year, and Sam Williams did show some flashes throughout this season. This is definitely somebody that I would really love coming into next year, especially with him having a second year under with Dan Quinn, and him having a first full year playing all the games that he had played, all the snaps that he played, experienced winning team, got a playoff win under his belt. He's seen some really great teams, seen some really great offensive linemen. So, I love Sam Williams moving forward. I think this will be a really, really good pick for us as well. And this can possibly be somebody that can give that breather to when Michael Parsons is tired on sideline. He can definitely pick up where Michael Parsons left off, just in terms of getting off the edge and getting to the quarterback. And I love his sideline speed. And I love that, this is a DN that, just our division alone, Daniel Jones was able to run the rock, and Jalen Hurts, he's a really great guy that we can keep on the defensive, on the read option side. And I really love that. And he showed that this year. And he also was really well and stout in the run game, which is something that we really need out of our DNs. The third pick with the 88th overall pick in the third round. This was originally day one when I first covered the draft in 2022. I originally loved this pick out of the previous two picks before. I love this pick the most out of Tyler Smith and Sam Williams. This grade I'm going to give him is an incomplete grade. I can't really give a grade on him. If you guys want to give him an F, I won't argue with you there. But if you give him a grade, anything above F, like C or B or an A, I just really think you didn't watch much Dallas Cowboys football. He was a healthy scratch, meaning that he was healthy. Nothing was wrong with him. Just the Cowboys just made him inactive every single game throughout this year. And I don't know what that solely speaks about, because in training camp, we was getting a lot of great Not great, but we were hearing some good news coming out of camp that Jalen Tolbert fell in love with Dak, and that was a really nice, solid pair duo in the offseason. He gelled really well with a guy like Will Greer and Cooper Rush. He was solid with those guys, but he showed his best potential with Dak Prescott in at the helm, obviously. But, he stepped in games like the Giants. He didn't have a whole lot of targets in that game. He, you know, he, we had wide receiver problems the entire offseason, and he didn't even get your wide receiver two, which was somebody I thought that we was going to draft him be able to come in and at least be your wide receiver three for the time being. Then eventually, if he had gotten better, he was going to take over Michael Gallup's spot throughout the season. But, he had spotty play here and there. He barely played any snaps in week 3 against the Giants. Then he played some snaps against the Packers game. He lined up off sides at corner. So he didn't really have a whole lot to show on tape in the preseason or in the regular season, so I really can't grade this pick. For the 4th round, pick 129, Jake Ferguson, tight end out of Wisconsin. Give that grade a B+. I love this pick, especially with the value of where we got him in the 4th round. He easily came in and was your tight end 2. It was your tight end 1 when Dalton Schultz went down with some injuries. I really love what Ferguson did on the year. He had a couple touchdowns. He had big moments. One being in the Eagles game, which was his breakout game. We had a little Euro step touchdown. Then he had the hurdle in the Thanksgiving game. So, he had a lot of great moments in the season so far. And, he's now going to be our tight end 1 because I don't see the Dallas Cowboys re-signing a guy like Dalton Schultz in the offseason. So this is definitely a pick that I love. It's a B+ I'm giving him right now. I would have given him that A if the Dallas Cowboys would have used him a lot more, but I really love this pick with Jake Ferguson. That was a really nice day 3 pick. Matt, well, let's go. This was the pick in the 5th round, pick 155 that we got from the Browns from the Amari Cooper trade. Same thing, I'm going to give this grade an incomplete. He suffered a shoulder injury in the offseason. He didn't get much preseason reps or anything like that. And I didn't hear a whole lot of negativity or positivity around his name. He was a so-so guy. Obviously has a lot of room to grow. There was potentially seeing this guy as a swing tackle who can potentially come in and be your starting left tackle for the foreseeable future. But we don't know what Matt Waletzko is going to be. That's somebody that I'm pretty intrigued to see what the Dallas Cowboys do with next year. So I'm going to give that grade an incomplete. So for the 5th round, pick 167, Deron Bland. I'm giving that pick an A. That was a solid A on the season. He stepped in for you easily in week 3 against Washington. He got his first pick. He led the team with 5 interceptions, led rookies, he was second, I believe, with rookies with 5 interceptions. I think he was just behind Tariq Woolen with 7. So, Deron Bland was easily, if he played a couple more games and he started for you at corner, this was arguably Defensive Rookie of the Year. But, it was hard because he also had, tough competition against Gardner and then Ahmad Gardner. And then you had Tariq Woolen. So, you had a lot of guys out battling for that cornerback position. But Deron Bland really showed out for you out of Fresno State. Like I said, 5 interceptions. He had some key games. Like I said, that Washington game was one of those. Then you also had that Colts game. Then you also had the Eagles game on Christmas Eve. He had a lot of memorable games. 3 off the top of my head that I can remember. If you guys can remember some more, that'd be great. If you guys can comment that as well. But he played some really tremendous ball for you down the line, especially when Jordan Lewis had got out with that ankle injury in the Detroit Lions game. He also stepped up really well for you being at cornerback too. And, once Anthony Brown went down with his torn Achilles. Then also, that was another game I forgot to add on. He also had a pick in the Jacksonville game, so he played really solid in that game as well. So, Deron Bland, I'm really proud of him. That was a 5th round pick, another 5th round gem that Dallas Cowboys, another day 3 steal that they got. Ferguson, Deron Bland was a really steal that I loved. Now I'm going into the next pick, round 5 again, pick 176 with Damone Clark, linebacker at LSU. I'll give this pick a C. Anything I won't give him anything higher. I won't give him anything lower. He had a spinal fusion in March, got drafted day 3 by the Dallas Cowboys, and automatically was giving you some snaps in October. I think the first snaps that he received was against the Chicago Bears. Really solid play. I like some of his coverage ability that he had in the Bears game. He was linebacker 2, rotational linebacker, mostly your linebacker 3, but he would step in to take in for Leighton Vander Esch or Anthony Barr if one of those guys needed a breather or they were injured or whatever the case might be. He came in, he stepped up pretty well. I think that him, again, this is definitely somebody that has high potential that I would love to see him again in a year or two with Dan Quinn. And can see him with a full year underneath his belt, with a full off season. For the 5th round again, pick 178, John Ridgeway, D tackle out of Arkansas. I'll give this grade an F for the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, this grade is definitely better for like the Washington Commanders. He balled out for them as well. I was loving what he was doing out there in Washington, but it was sucked that the Dallas Cowboys, the Joneses, they were trying to outsmart the room. They were trying to play a waiver matchup and trying to get John Ridgeway on the practice squad. Then you ended up releasing him, trying to get him back on practice squad, hoping and praying that you can get him off of waivers. Too bad the Washington Commanders claimed him. He went in for the Washington Commanders and made an instant impact, along with that already solid defensive line room that they got with Jonathan Allen, Payne, Sweat, Young, and all the other defensive linemen that they got in that room. The only reason why I'm giving it an F for the Dallas Cowboys because I felt like this could have been a better grade for you if you would have kept him, because you already knew that we needed help in the run department, and just to let him go made no sense for the Dallas Cowboys. You could have tested that with Matt Go, and you could have tested that, or Josh Ball, let him go, trying to get him back on practice squad. That would have been a lot better than testing out John Ridgeway. But it was also hard because that defensive line that we have right now currently is such a deep room that, we had to make up a roster to bring in certain guys like Michael Gallup off of IR, I believe that's who we made room for. And then Jason Pierce also we had to bring on to the roster. So that was it. And then our last pick of the draft that we selected was Devin Harper, linebacker out of Oklahoma State University. I don't know. I'm going to give this grade an incomplete. He was solid for you in preseason. This is more of a special teams type of guy for you. He's going to be like your Kyle Wilber. If you guys ever remember him from the Dallas Cowboys, he was a solid special teams linebacker for us. That I see this as a special teams type of pick. He's going to be like your Luke Gifford type of guy. So, and then we ended up, season-ending IR him, to make room for other guys and free up roster space. So I'll give that grade an incomplete. I really can't, same thing, I can't give that grade much of a grade. He had barely any regular season snaps. Mostly showed out in the preseason. He was solid for you. But other than that, I see that as a special teams-like pick. So yeah, man, just a refresher over the grades. I gave Tyler Smith, our first-round selection, a A+. Our second-round selection, I gave that to Sam Williams, a B-. Our third-round selection for Jalen Tolbert, I gave that an incomplete grade. He didn't do too much in the NFL season to give you, to base him off of a grade. Jake Ferguson, I gave him a B+. That was in the 4th round. 5th round, the guys of Matt Waletzko, gave that incomplete. Deron Bland, I gave that an A. Damone Clark, I gave that a C. John Ridgeway, I gave that an F. And then for our last pick being in the 6th round for Devin Harper, I gave that an incomplete. So if you guys made this far in the video, I really appreciate you guys. If you aren't subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button, like the video. It helps out the algorithm for my channel to grow. And sub if you're new. Comment your thoughts on the video and your guys' grades, and share my video with anyone who you think might enjoy my content. See you later. Bye.